Welcome to the Bible Lore Expedition, where you and I embark on a journey of discovery. I'm your host, Javen. After the traumatic events in Shechem, where Jacob's sons Simeon and Levi took violent revenge for the violation of their sister Dinah, Jacob and his family found themselves in a tense and precarious situation. The fear of retribution from surrounding communities weighed heavily on Jacob. It was during this time of uncertainty and fear that God spoke to Jacob, giving him a clear and compelling command. Go to Bethel, settle there, and build an altar to God, who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau. Jacob knew the significance of Bethel. It was the place where many years before he had dreamed of a ladder reaching to heaven and had received God's promises. Understanding the gravity of God's command, Jacob prepared his household for the journey. He instructed them to rid themselves of foreign gods, purify themselves, and change their clothes. This act of purification was a step towards renewing their commitment to God. They handed all of their foreign gods and earrings, which Jacob buried under the oak near Shechem, symbolizing a break from their past ways. As they set out for Bethel, divine protection accompanied them. A terror from God fell upon the surrounding cities, preventing them from pursuing Jacob and his family. This divine intervention ensured their safe passage and emphasized God's ongoing care and provision. Upon arriving at Bethel, Jacob builds an altar, naming the place El Bethel, meaning God of Bethel, to honor the God who had been with him throughout his journey. Sadly, it was here where Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, passed away and was buried under an oak, which was named Alon Bakut, or Oak of Weeping, making a moment of sorrow for the family. At Bethel, God appeared to Jacob once more. In a profound encounter, God blessed him and reaffirmed his name change from Jacob to Israel, which means he struggles with God. This new name signified Jacob's transformation and his new identity as one who had wrestled with God and prevailed. God reiterated the promises made to Abraham and Isaac, assuring Jacob that nations and kings would come from his lineage and that the land promised to his forefathers would be given to his descendants. Moved by this divine encounter, Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God had spoken to him. He poured a drink offering on it and anointed it with oil, dedicating that place to God as a lasting testament of his faithfulness. As Jacob and his family continued their journey from Bethel, they encountered both joy and sorrow. Rachel, Jacob's beloved wife, went into labor and gave birth to a son. The labor was difficult, and Rachel, in her dying moments, named her son Ben-Oni, meaning son of my sorrow. However, Jacob renamed him Benjamin, meaning son of my right hand, signifying a place of honor. Rachel died during childbirth and was buried on the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. Jacob set up a pillar over her tomb, which stood as a monument to her memory. Tragedy struck again as Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, committed a grave sin by sleeping with Bilhah, Jacob's concubine. This act of defiance and dishonor would have lasting consequences for Reuben's standing within the family. Despite these personal sorrows, Jacob eventually returned to his father Isaac at Mamre, near Hebron, where both Abraham and Isaac had lived. Isaac lived to the age of 180 years and passed away. In a moment of reconciliation and family unity, Esau and Jacob came together to bury their father, putting aside past grievances. God's command for Jacob to return to Bethel served multiple purposes. It was a call for spiritual renewal and recommitment to God. Jacob's act of purifying his household and building an altar at Bethel demonstrated his faithfulness and gratitude for God's protection and promises. This journey also fulfilled the vow Jacob had made to God years earlier, showing the importance of keeping commitments to God. The story of Jacob's return to Bethel is a reminder of the importance of spiritual renewal, seeking God's presence and maintaining integrity. Just as Jacob experienced divine protection and guidance, you and I can trust in God's faithfulness as we navigate life's challenges and seek to fulfill His calling. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm your host, Javen.